Hello everyone and welcome. Today's video is part of the Love Your Stash Challenge with the creative design team. Some of us have been bringing you videos over the last couple of days, sharing projects where we've been creating with items from our stash. Today I'm going to do a double page scrapbook layout using the silver and gold collection. This is something that I've had in my stash since 2017, and I have the Workshop Your Way kit, as it used to be called. Now they're called scrapbooking kits, and I'm pretty sure I brought a couple of packs of the paper as well as the complements. I love this black and white stickers, and I've not used any of them in anything, so I'm definitely going to bring those in. I've picked out some papers from this stash. I think I bought so much of it because I really like the gold foil printing, but I'm not using that in today's layout. I will be using some of the cut apart sheets, the PML cards that used to come with the packets, and a couple of the tags that I created recently in my Christmas tag series. I want to try and incorporate those on the layout. And then I decided with the papers that I picked out, the fa la 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 print and also this word print, that I wanted to bring in some red. And I've brought this in from the Beary Christmas paper pack, which was also brought out in 2017 as well. You can see I've already selected my photos and I've matted them, and I've actually used this scripty word as a mat, and these are all in 1/8 increments. So I've got my photo and then I've cut the mat 1/8 of an inch larger than that in the pattern paper, and then 1/8 of an inch larger in a white daisy. I'm going to do some treatments to the background papers, so these pattern papers are going to get some treatments, and I'll just clear everything off, and they're the bits that I'm going to do first because I want them to dry. The first thing I want to do is add some white splatters onto this, just to lift it a little bit. I do have an idea of where my photos are going to be placed, so I want to put my splatters in this area here and down along here. So I'll bring in my splatter box, and then I'm using the gloss spray white. I'll just put another guard up at the back. You need to give this a good shake, and then I'm just going to tap off around the areas that I know that I want the splatter. I just think it's going to add some nice texture and lift the paper a little bit. It is a very subtle grey, this pattern, and I just want to add a little bit more visual interest to the background. I also know that I'm going to use this piece as well, so while I've got my splatter out, this is just a little bit of an offcut. I'm going to put some white on there as well, and then set these aside to dry a little bit. The white gloss spray really doesn't take very long to dry at all. The next thing I'm going to do is treat this piece here. Now this is about 3.5 inches. It was a strip that I had left over, and I'm bringing in my white daisy, and I just want to tone it down. I'm not going to swipe all over. I'm just selecting areas and just dragging this white daisy ink over top, just to soften and give a little bit more of a rustic feel. And I'm going the same way all the time, up and down. I don't want to go across to change the pattern of the swiping. And I'm not using a very heavy hand at all with this, but it just softens the words just a little bit and makes them a little less stark against the soft background paper that I've chosen. So I'm just going to adhere my border strip on, and it does take a little while for the pigment ink to dry, so you will get chalky fingers a little bit if you do it too quickly like I'm doing now. And then I'm just positioning my photos roughly where I want them, knowing that I want to leave some space for this Merry Christmas tag to tuck down underneath the photo here. And then I'm going to bring in some zip strips. This is one that I used when I was making the tags, and I think I'd like to bring that in. So I'm going to stick that down on the page, and then when I do the right side, I'll continue that on because I've got another full strip. I'm just lining that up at roughly where I want it to go. And then I've got this Beary Christmas stripe as well. So I'll just place that underneath, and that's going to ground the photos. And then I can start layering up these pieces. So I'm lining the edge of my photo up with the edge of this zip strip, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that this little reindeer section here is going to be lost underneath the photo because I don't want the whole tag there. It's a little bit too heavy next to that photo of my parents. So I might trim that down and have that popping out from below. And then what that will do, now that I've trimmed it, is make it look like an extended tag, and I quite like how that looks. So if you've made quite a few tags for Christmas and you haven't used them all, then you can incorporate them into your Christmas photos. So that's come together pretty quickly, and then what I want to do now is some embellishing. I've got these stickers and I've already gone ahead. This December story I thought might look nice just through here in the middle. That will hide that little awkward gap. So I'm just going to put a little bit of foam tape on that. And what I did with this sticker was I actually drew around it with the journaling pen. You can see here I've done it on shine, and the bright sparkle and love are just plain white. So I think I will do that on the other stickers as well, and I'm going to put those off to the side of the tree. So I'm doing it while they're still attached because I know it's going to be a little bit bumpy going over the edges of my photo mat. And I'm not trying to do these perfectly. I want them to look a little bit playful. And with these journaling pens, you don't have to touch them to the paper very hard. Just a light touch is all you need. And I think that just finishes them off quite nicely. And because I've got a glare coming through from the window here, it's a perfect place to put some embellishments. And I'm staggering those so that they're not all perfectly in a line. And then I might bring in the second page and start doing some embellishing there as well. Oh, actually, before I do that, I've just noticed some little trees. I think these would be cute going along here. I'll put the large one here so that it stands out against the background. And I'll put this little stripy tree here. So they look quite cute. Let me get the second page. And I've already put most of this together, and it's pretty much exactly the same sort of method as the left page. And I've decided that I want to trim down this journal box. I've already gone ahead, I've tucked this photo in behind, and I think I want to bring this red in to the top section as well and have a little bit showing. And I've got this one that I have splattered. So because this hasn't been sitting for too long, I'm able to lift it and put some adhesive on and just slot these in behind the photos and those tags. So this one can come down here a little bit further, and then I'll just put my tag back in. And what I want to do with my journaling box is I don't want the total heaviness of this cross stitch part. I want to bring this tag in down here, and then that will tie in with this one over here. And I've put some foam tape on the back of this, so that's ready to go. And the reason why I've put foam tape is because I've got layers here with, this is almost like a triple layer of things with the photos, the mat, and then the other mat. So I want them to sort of sit nicely together. And then I'm going to position this piece here. And then with my journal mat, I'm just going to try trimming this down a little bit so that I only have the 2 rows of cross stitch at the top. and then I'll trim off these other pieces, and then I'm going to adhere this to the top of that, and then I'm going to keep this section at the bottom to match in, so it sort of carries on the same sort of thing that I did here with the tag. And that's my spot for my journaling. And then this one will finish off this bottom area. And then I have another one of these because I want to bring in this element over to this side. So I think I'd like to tuck that just above the top of my parents. And then from the same pack, I've also got these light grey cross-stitch type pieces. So I'm going to use those as little tabs out of the side of photos as well. So don't be afraid to cut apart the PML cards. It will lead your eye into the photos and actually ground them really, really well onto the layout. So let's bring in some more of these little stickers. To bring in from the trees here on the left, I'm going to put one down here on that little tag. I want to bring in these circle elements. These were the bonbons that I made that year. I made some on my Cricut machine, and they were a lot of fun to do. And because of where I live, we get to eat usually outside for Christmas Day. So I decorated underneath my pergola, and I wanted to take photos of all of that. I'm going to put this little star heart up here. And I'm just looking around to see if I want to put any more of these little stars or anything like that onto my layout. It might be cute to have one on the journal box. That'll bring things in. And I'll put one over top of that sticker as well. I'm going to use my charcoal ink and stamp 2020 on the tag. I should have done that before I stuck that down, but I just thought all of a sudden I didn't have the 2020 part. I'm using the Prairie alphabet, and when I do something like this, I usually go from the edge and work my way back in rather than trying to guess where to start. So this will put the year on there. And now all that's left for me to do is my journaling. I'm quite glad that I held on to this paper and had quite a bit to use. It fits in really nicely with my theme of the silver packages that I tied up last year, and also the ornaments that I created with the Close to My Heart special, the wooden ornaments that we had last year to do. So that is it for this double page spread. Make sure that you check out the other creative design team members' projects. I will be putting links below, so you'll be able to head straight to their Love Your Stash challenge for this YouTube collab, and I will put up some still shots at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting, and I hope you all have a very happy new year. I'm really looking forward to 2022 and all the things that the creative design team are planning on bringing your way soon. Take care. Bye for now.